in the groin region of their suits last year. They were caught doing it, and their coaches were banned for 18 months.
And that was Matt Lawton, chief sports correspondent of The Times, speaking to me from Italy. You're listening to NewsHour live from the BBC in London. I'm James Menendez. It is nearly a month since the authorities in Iran shut
January, we received reports that some protesters were killed by security forces. So from day one, we started gathering names and we started verifying them and talk to their families, friends and families, to get their stories as much as we could. The whole point is just to put face and human touch to all these names and numbers. They are people. There were lives behind all these names. Who were they? What were their wishes? What were their dreams? What they have achieved in their life? So we wanted to give faces and characters to all these names and numbers.
So how many have you managed to do so far? Because part of this story is that, information is still several weeks on from the height of the protests. I mean, it's still pretty scarce, isn't it?
It is. We still don't know a lot about many small towns and small cities. But so far we managed to identify more than 200 protesters. We verified them and we managed to get stories. Tens of them have stories and we put it on our website.
How many people died? I mean, has anyone managed to put a definitive figure on that yet?
No, because during 8th and 9th, when there was peak of protest, many people came out. The scale was big. We were receiving videos and images of the big crowds going out on the streets, but then around midnight, the internet shut down, mobile phone, landline, everything shut down, so we were completely in dark. We didn't know how the authorities responded to the protests. And that makes it difficult to understand the scale of the killing, but lots of NGOs and activists are working hard, and we have different numbers. It starts from a few thousand to 30,000. Recently, the government published a list of over 3,000 dead, but what we are sure is thousands were killed in 2 days.
So a huge number, and many of those deaths, and I think you've been looking into this too, many of those deaths caused by serious weaponry, with a sort of weaponry that might be used in a war rather than to control crowds. Is that fair?
That's right. That's what the expert we talked to told us. Based on the images and videos and personal accounts, we did an investigation and we found out heavy machine guns were used, assault rifles like Kalashnikov, and shotguns, sniper guns, handguns, tear gas, machetes and knives, batons and wooden clubs, and green laser. These are all the list of the documented that been used against protesters.
So what happened during the protests is one of the factors that precipitated the crisis with the United States. President Trump said he wanted to step in on the side of protesters, although it's now widened to Iran's nuclear program and other issues. We have these talks starting in a few hours in Oman. What's expected to come out of these talks?
We know that US military activities are building up. So Iranians are really keen on doing negotiations, but both sides are looking for different things. For example, Mark Rubio recently says it's not just the nuclear program we would like to talk. We want Iran to curb its ballistic missile program. We want Iran to stop sponsoring proxy groups in the region, and also Iran stop cracking down on own people. So it's difficult to imagine what agreement's gonna look like.
Roger Asadi from BBC Persian. Prosecutors in Israel today filed charges against the brother of the head of Shin Bet, the country's domestic intelligence agency, over the alleged smuggling of cigarettes into Gaza during the war. The Justice Ministry said that Bezalel Zini, the brother of David Zini, was being
13 to 15 people, they smuggled more things like, charges for cars or iPhones or other things. Some of the things that were smuggled could be used by terrorists, but with the cigarettes, it's more about black markets. You can sell the cigarettes in very, very high prices inside Gaza. So the profit, even if you don't sell a huge amount of cigarettes, the profit that you make is a big one. And the inside Gaza, and this is the part where you help the enemy, because when you use all of those merchandise, at the end of the business line, there's the Hamas terrorists who are making money in the black market from all of those things by making profits. This is the way they were doing it even before the war, during the war, and obviously after the war. It's well-known fact in Israel that controlling the goods and also cigarettes inside Gaza helps the terrorists to generate more income.
Yeah.
So
Embarrassing for Davidson. Yeah, I mean, as the head of Shin Bet, the country's security services, he had anything to say?
well, he didn't react publicly, and it's a huge problem because the Shin Bet, Shabbat, they are responsible for the inquiry. So the brother was arrested around 3 weeks ago, but before of this arrest, the head of the Shin Bet actually said that smuggling is one of the biggest problems that they're facing, and he was advising even publicly to be more strict and be more the enforcement on smuggling should be harsher. And there you go. I mean,
They play a variety of games designed to get both dads and kids fit and to have fun together.
The dads are pretending to be surfboards, so they're lying on these mats and the kids stand on them and they have to pretend that they're surfing. There's lots of laughter, also a lot of people falling down.
It's all part of a scheme called Healthy Dads, Healthy Kids, and the idea is based on a successful Australian program to help with obesity.
But it's been adapted here for prisoners to learn parenting skills and be better dads. This is one of the researchers behind it, Cindy Gray from the University of Glasgow.
What we want to achieve is to provide an opportunity for people in prison to maintain and strengthen the relationships that they have with their children, to be better fathers, to be better role models. And the idea is then that family relationships are strengthening, that the children have better relationships.
Works better when it's more intense.
The benefits, health eating, just sort it around. Yes. Sleep down.
The prisoners who have been selected all have school-aged children. The course is once a week for 8 days, and it starts with a classroom session on parenting skills, such as the dangers of screen time or the benefits of exercise. Today, the main focus is on what their children eat. Chris is serving a sentence for supplying drugs. He rejects the idea that people who've committed crimes shouldn't be getting benefits like this.
Not everything's in prison's a bad person, and also it's not your kids or your family's fault that you're in prison, so it's not fair that I'm not there to play games and teach him how to tie his laces. It's not his fault. I mean, he's not doing anything. It's me.
The course is also trying to help the families of the prisoners. One of the mothers who brought her daughter in today told me how much these sessions mean for them.
I get to run about like crazy, and then we get to go and have dinner with them. I get dead emotional actually because it's
watching like feeling emotional as well, so I couldn't imagine what that's like for you.
It is, and it's so emotional. See, when we went for a meal the first time, this is it's like the simplification is just we can breathe. But listen, it's great. I'm so glad that we've got the opportunity to do this, and I hope like other families get to do it as well, because you can see how great it is.
Ending that report by the BBC's Mara. You're listening to Nisa.
Splitting Eddie.
Distribution of the BBC World Service News Hour was suspended possibly by the distributor of radio content, media, with support from Progressive Insurance. Progressive is called the booking individuals with a variety of commitments who are interested in joining an inclusive and unique culture. More information and application at progressive.com/careers.
On the next Fresh Air, filmmaker Julia Lockton talks about her documentary, My Undesirable Friends, which follows young Russian journalists resisting Putin's regime before the invasion of Ukraine, and the impossible
Got a radar gun in his head?
descent into prison or exile.
What's the speed limit through here?
45.
Coming your way next hour on CPR News and KRCC.
But it changes from 55 to 45 right around that corner.
At the Array Ice Park, shards and splinters fly as climbers swing their axes into frozen blue waterfalls. But up until recently, the park was pretty bare. Then the cold finally came.
I think everybody just feels like it's Christmas morning. You know, we're just so delighted to have no winter conditions.
Still, ice climbers worry about a warming future. Read the story and see stunning pictures at CPR.com.
Support comes from Keystone Custom Builders, specializing in residential and commercial design and build services, custom tailored to their clients' unique style and priorities. Learn more at kcbgj.com.
Okay.
This is James Menendez with News. We are right in the middle of awards season, but if I told you that one of the most nominated films of this year is a small-scale Norwegian family drama about an aging director's difficult relationship with his estranged daughters, you might not believe me. And yet, sentimental value from the Norwegian-Danish director Joachim Trier is generating real buzz, and it has been ever since it was shown at the Cannes Festival last year. It was met with a 19-minute standing ovation and the Grand Prix. It's now up for 9 Oscars. Not bad for what is a decidedly unshowy affair, the nuanced acting and the dialogue of the stars, and yet by the end it proves deeply affecting and thought-provoking. Here's a taster.
Why didn't you want to do the role?
He wanted you to do it.
I can't work with him. We can't really talk.
My father is a very difficult person.
Well, a little earlier, Joachim Trier joined me in the NewsHour studio and told me more about his film.
I mean, it's a family story, and we started writing it from the perspective of two adult sisters who had a very complicated relationship to their father. And then when we started exploring the father, because I believe in humanist cinema, I try to see his angle, even though he's been a narcissistic, bit of a difficult person. And through that, I realized that we could make a film about all the things we don't know how to talk about. All the things we often in psychology call transference, the stuff that connects us to our grandparents, the grief they went through, the trauma that somehow percolates through our parents into us in ways that are unspoken. And this is not a mystical thing. I think this is just what happens in families, that we convey as we raise our kids a lot of stuff that we don't know how to put into words. So how can we make a film where people get involved in that kind of thing?
The performances, and I know this has been picked up by lots of people who've seen it, I mean, the performances are breathtaking. I mean, were you, I mean, obviously that's your job as a director, but were you surprised when you then saw it on the screen? I mean, the amount that all the actors are able to convey in pretty subtle, nuanced ways.
I'm very proud of them. I think they do the heavy lifting here. They are the film. It's a character-driven story. You know, I went to the National Film and TV School here in England and got my education. I had wonderful teachers, you know, and I remember asking them, how do you direct actors? It's all about casting. Find the right person and trust them. Get them to do their best, and hopefully you'll have a good movie. And I kind of follow that lead in a way.
Family dramas can be, I mean, they can be overwrought, can't they? And they can lead to overacting, but you couldn't say that at all about it.
I mean, we also wrote, Eskil Fucht and I, my co-writer, this is our 6th film together. We wrote for Renate Reinsve, who's in The Worst Person in the World, my previous film, and also for Stellan Skarsgård, and kind of got him to be a part of the team, and I'm so grateful, you know. And then Elle Fanning, and then Inga Ipsdotter Lillås, who was a wonderful actor. She's done some work, but perhaps not international work yet, and was teaching at the time in a theatre school for young people when we cast her. Now she's Oscar nominated. So I've been fortunate to find the right people.
And is it true that Renate, I mean, I read a quote from Sean Penn saying he thinks she's going to be the new Meryl Streep. She's that good, but it nearly didn't work out for her, did it? I mean, I think she at one point was, just before she made one of your earlier films, that she was about to give it all up because she didn't think she could make it work.
I mean, all of us that work in this industry know that there are many, many, many really great actors out there who's never given a shot. And Renate had a small part in a film I did 15 years ago, and I thought she was going to be a great star. And she just wasn't given any lead roles in cinema. She was doing great theatre work. So we decided to write The Worst Person in the World for her. And yeah, she got BAFTA nominated for Best Lead Actress that year. You know? So I'm very happy and grateful she didn't quit.
Is European cinema having a moment, do you think?
European cinema is always having great moments, but I think it's happening. Yeah, well, in a way, yes, I hope so. I believe that people are reading more subtitles in the US, but yes, something is going on. And we, in terms of awards attention, certainly something is happening.
And what do you put that down to? I mean, because you have been showered with awards and award nominations, I think 9 Oscar nominations. What do you put that down to?
I don't know. Maybe we're just.
Do you think it's something about this film? I just wonder whether.
No, I to be honest and speak technically about it, I think many things have happened at once. I think the studio system in LA is kind of changing. And I think that Netflix, yes, they are trying to kill theatrical, which is awful because I believe in the cinemas. I believe in going to the movies on a big screen. But what's great about Netflix is that people are watching foreign films there and reading subtitles. So that's a good thing for everyone.
And it's because of the streamers,
yeah, the streamers are doing that. And then also the economy is changing, and we still have a lot of incentives in Europe for co-production and financing with some government funds mixed with some private equity in a healthy way where we can make free artistic films. And this creates movies that are of a personal nature. Maybe what Hollywood used to do in the 70s and 80s. You know, we would see Kramer versus Kramer when everyone's parents were divorcing, or The Ordinary People when psychoanalysis became popular in the middle classes. You know, it's films about human life.
And now we don't see so many of those. There's more genre movies. So maybe there's a space and an interest in the audience as well for human stories. Films that are relatable in the way that we live our lives in reality, you know?
Do you think there's an appetite, though, in the Hollywood studios to make those films? I mean, is there enough, I mean, to put it crudely, is there enough money to be made from character-driven dramas for those studios to get involved?
I think some of the best filmmakers in the world are working in America. People like Paul Thomas Anderson, Mike Mills. There are many people are nominated this year with wonderful films where we see that there's really great filmmakers. But yes, it's about the money, isn't it? I'm sorry. You know, I come out of, when I was young, I was playing in a punk band, and we were into punk and then hip hop, and the idea of sellout and the idea that money runs it and becomes less interesting. Of course, once in a while you have a pop artist that does creative work that's amazing and gets popular, but the idea that everything has to be the biggest certainly doesn't create the variety we need for culture to move forward. You got to take a risk. You got to try something and invest in something that maybe isn't a sure thing, and something wonderful can come out of it. You know? So there's this, I think that's the problem, that some of these big conglomerates that are investing in movies right now are expecting the bigger hits than maybe quality cinema can achieve. But so now suddenly something is shifting. I'm optimistic. You know, suddenly people like me from Norway are allowed to be a part of the award circuit. You know,
maybe it's that search for authenticity in an increasingly inauthentic world, perhaps.
I don't know. I know we've tried, at least me and my band, as I call them, the actors and the crew and the people I work closely with, to wear a heart on the sleeve on this one. And, you know, like, I used to be a more ironic punk guy in the 90s. And
a skateboarder, right?
Yeah, skateboarder. I was maybe a little bit more as a guy and scared of emotions, but I have children now. I feel that I need to make something that's hopeful, and that's about love and connectedness and stuff like that. So, without turning completely into a hippie, I think that this is what we're trying this for, to do something serious and real about how difficult it is to be family. You know? So fingers crossed it reaches people in the right way.
Joachim Trier, Director of Sentimental Value, bringing us to the end of NewsHour. Thanks so much for listening. Until the next time, bye-bye.
This is CPR News, 89.5 FM KPRN Grand Junction, 88.3 FM KPRH Montrose, 88.3 FM KPYR Craig, and at CPR.org.
Support comes from AEG Presents, bringing 2 nights of Paul Simon to Red Rocks Amphitheater on Friday, June 12th and Saturday, June 13th. Tickets and information at paulsimon.com. That's paulsimon.com. Support comes from the Buell Foundation, dedicated to improving the lives of young children and families in partnership with nonprofit organizations throughout Colorado. Learn more at buellfoundation.org.
From WHYY in Philadelphia, this is Fresh Air. I'm Tanya Mosley. Today, filmmaker Julia Loktiv. Her documentary, My Undesirable Friends, follows independent journalists in Russia as press freedom is dismantled and reporters are branded foreign agents. Loktiv began filming 4 years ago, before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And now with the film's release in the U.S., she's hearing from Americans who see unsettling parallels facing the press here at home.
Every day it feels like there is something to bring the story home for Americans, where it almost feels like there's Easter eggs in the film that become more and more relevant.
We talk about the making of the film, which is 5.5 hours, and the impossible choices these journalists were forced to make. Plus, jazz historian Kevin Whitehead reviews a new edition of Miles Davis recordings. First News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst.
Approval rating has now been below 40% in the Paris poll since November. On the economy, we're still Trump got Trump elected the
Force by 6 and 10 disapprove. It appears to many who want to know. It seems under the rules of the shipment that some two U.S. citizens have been sent to
Sorry. I wanted to know about my house. What I could legally do about it. Sorry, you can't take me anywhere, huh? It looks like John's car, kind of. Ow. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, there's a couple more stops.
Huh?
Yes, I need to make a couple more stops.
Okay. I'll be good. She told me somebody that would help me out with the key. Our favorite bicyclist? No.
Hey, you're going the wrong way, numbnuts.
And she got a quicker parking space than we did. Tink. Not today.
left today.
Huh?
I forgot to grab water when I left today.
That guy looks like a hitman. Cars, and I see these turns that we're making now. I know why they're making these turns. Can I have a 7-Up?
Not from you. Not from you.
Okay.
It costs $4 for a 7-Up.
Oh. Oh boy. Puppy. Nice day today.
It is a nice day.
Huh?
It is a nice day. All that snow is melting.
Waiting for next year. Should have got some hamburger buns when I was in there. I forgot about them. Yeah, flour tortillas.
Yeah, that'll work.
Huh?
That'll work.
I figured. Yeah, I had a thing of cheese in there too. I was going to cook the cheese with it and I decided not to. nice parking spot. Philadelphia. Better, a little cooler. There's got to be a cop down there, right?
Probably not.
Huh?
Probably not. Doesn't look like a cop car.
Train employees. Oh, there's that building over there next to it. Does it seem like springtime?
It does.
Huh?
Yeah, it does. That's fun. That snow's fucking melting.
You getting over here?
Huh?
What are you getting over here?
A couple of burritos, because they didn't have them.
Bro.
Did you need anything else, or? Did you need anything else?
I'm gonna look and see.
Huh?
I'm gonna look and see. Nice food. That's what it was here, huh?
most of my friends. This film was your way of doing something, and it's a film about Russia, but also what is your role? What can you do? And I want to know, what do you tell Americans when they ask you this question? I wish I had some really great advice. I think, and yeah, it's absolutely a film about living under, trying to do good under a government you oppose, trying to do good when you don't get results, honestly, and still trying to do that. And I think that's really important. We are so used to measuring things in results, and probably a spoiler alert that this comes up in the second half. It's one of the most important moments in the second half is I like the story of Sisyphus, but I don't think of him as a victim. I think he finds meaning in pushing the stone. I think that's incredibly important. I think that's the lesson that, if there is a lesson, it's, I think it's the things that people say in the film, like journey or be part of our resistance, finding meaning in pushing the stone and not giving up even when things seem rather hopeless. Julia Lockwood, thank you so much for this documentary and this conversation. Thank you. Filmmaker Julia Lockwood, her documentary is called Undesirable Friends. Coming up, jazz historian Helen Redway reviews a new edition of Miles Davis recordings. This is Fresh Air.
There's no other way when it exists.
50 extra ones, or are you going to eat them all?
I'm gonna eat it.
Huh?
Probably gonna eat it.
Okay.
Coming your way next hour on CPR News and KRCC. This is Fresh Air. In 1965, Miles Davis led one of the all-time great jazz groups with 4 younger players, including saxophonist Wayne Shorter and pianist Herbie Hancock. But they really worked that year while Miles dealt with medical issues. But that December, they recorded 7 sets over 2 nights at the Chicago nightclub The Plugged Nickel. The complete recordings went unreleased for decades, but now comes a new edition. Jazz historian Kevin Whitehead says the music is all over the place in the best way.
Before they played Chicago's Plugged Nickel with Miles Davis in 1965, drummer Tony Williams famously challenged his fellow sidemen to play anti-music on the group. The opposite of what a listener or even the they hadn't known would be recording live, and they didn't play for Miles, but they went for it anyway. Might sound radically different. Tony Williams, who just turned 20, was the main instigator. Jazz drummers typically play with steady tempos, but Williams had other ideas. On No Blues, pianist Herbie Hancock and bassist Ron Carter follow him all the way down. The players' anti-music stance pushed back against Miles Davis's stale and limited live repertoire. The quintet had broken new ground on their current album ESP, recorded earlier in '65, but on gigs they played only one tune from it in simplified form. Mostly they did songs he'd been doing for years, some since the 1950s. Miles usually took the first solo, with the rhythm section generally well behaved. After that, things might advance into more open territory with more floating rhythm. This is from Agitation, that lone tune from ESP. Tony Williams is the band's spark plug, but on the 7.5 hours of Miles Davis's complete live at the Plugged Nickel in 1965, the star soloist is Wayne Shorter on tenor saxophone. Miles could play sparsely, leaving lots of space. Shorter, by contrast, might overflow that space, as John Coltrane had with Miles. Shorter might echo Coltrane's drive, but had a more variable tone. Lyrical and full body, total turnaround. It's the ballad When I Fall in Love.
back a little bit of that, just like a small square, he would not eat it. Neither did his girlfriend. I have to come back and do these. Maybe not.
One static episode prompts belated heckling from Tony Williams. The band didn't always play nice for the boss. Miles's chops would soon improve just to keep up. And at the Plug Nickel, he does have his moments. The trumpeter starts his Green Dolphin Street solo with his signature harmon mute stuck in the bell. When he takes the mute out, just hear him do it. The change in sound and attitude is so dramatic, it's like a different soloist steps up. Call it his own anti-music turn. During their 2-week stand in Chicago, Miles neither called out his players on their antics, nor did he fire their mutinous asses. Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams had thoroughly modernized the leader's sound, and that quintet had a few excellent years and classic albums still in them. And at the Plug Nickel, Miles Davis did show he could hold it down in such mastery and stretched out the visions of their senses and fun. There he and Shorter would improvise together. Many bands would imitate this quintet over the decades. But precious few ever get as rambunctious as things got at the Plug Christmas week 1965.
You're off tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Laundry,
good.
you know.
Jazz historian Kevin Whitehead is the author of New Dutch Swing, Why Jazz, and Play the Way You Feel. He reviewed Miles Davis, complete live at the Plug Nickel, 1965. If you'd like to catch up on interviews you've missed, like our conversation with journalist Gabe Sherman, who's covered the Murdochs for nearly 2 decades, has a new book about the succession fight, or with historian Robert Kagan, who says we're heading into a dictatorship if we're not already in one, check out our podcast. You'll find lots of fresh air interviews. And to find out what's happening behind the scenes of our show and get our producers' recommendations on what to watch, read, and listen to, subscribe to our free newsletter at whyy.org/freshair. Fresh Air's executive producers are Danny Miller and Sam Bruger. Our technical director and engineer is Audrey Bindel. Our interviews and reviews are produced and edited by
Oh man, this is heavy.
Curtis Sherlock.
Thank you. Put it in the trailer.
Susan McCready, Anna Bowman, Nico Gonzalez Whistler. Executive producers Wallace and Nestor. Dave Chalmers directed today's show. With Terry Davis and Tommy Gibson. Support for
to maximize the impact of charitable giving and to create customized philanthropic solutions. Learn more at fjc.org. And from the George Lucas Educational Foundation, creator of Edutopia, for 35 years, sharing what works in schools today and working to inspire new ways to learn tomorrow. More at edutopia.org. Hi, I'm Christine Parisi, and I'm the owner of restaurants Parisi and Firenze a Tavola.
Sponsoring CPR is an effective way to make an impact and get the word out about your business or organization.
Supporting CPR is the one avenue to let folks know that I care deeply about so many aspects of society, including nonprofit resources for information. The marketing feature is a spin-off bonus connecting us to our community.
Learn about sponsoring Colorado Public Radio on the support page at cpr.org.
This is CPR News, 89.5 FM KPRN Grand Junction, 88.3 FM KPRH Montrose, 88.3 FM KPYR Craig, and at CPR.org.
Support comes from the Colorado Sun, a nonprofit newsroom bringing statewide coverage to Coloradans focused on independent, nonpartisan journalism and shining light on Colorado's communities. coloradosun.com.
Support comes from AEG Presents, bringing 2 nights of Paul Simon to Red Rocks Amphitheater on Friday, June 12th and Saturday, June 13th. Tickets and information at paulsimon.com. That's paulsimon.com.
Marketplace is supported by Ninja One, unifying IT operations for businesses globally with solutions to support IT resilience and operational efficiency. Unify IT, simplify work. Ninja One.
Feels like it's been a while, so I'm going to say it out loud again, just so as we all remember. Stocks go down too, gang. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Barron's Investor Circle, a new product offering investors stock picks, market insights, and access to the Barron's editors behind over a century of financial reporting. Learn more at barrons.com/investor circle.
Is this too skimpy for me to be wearing outside? Huh? What'd you say?
And hybrid employment opportunities with pathways for advancement. Learn more about available positions at careers.progressive.com. And by Yubico, makers of the Yubico. Designed to stop phishing, it protects the accounts people rely on. Yubico, powerful protection, instant access. More at yubico.com.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kai Risdell. It is Thursday today. This is the 5th of February. Good as always. Tag along, everybody. The standard caveat applies here. Stock market, economy, not. But stock market vibes, economy-ish. The major indices today, as you have perhaps seen or already heard, not good in a kind of substantive way. People are a bit wigged out over the big software companies and what AI might do to them. Google, as we mentioned yesterday, is going to spend $175 to $185 billion on AI this year. There is some agita out there about that. And then there's the labor market, of which we have spoken often recently, and about which we have some new numbers today. The first number, that is 213,000. That's how many people filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits last week, a not small jump of 22,000 from the week earlier. The next number is 6.5 million. That is the number of job openings across this economy.